failures play into your learning?
Oh, I mean, you want to talk about like bumping your head. I have had some hard hits, but I think I was lucky to have mentors, coaches, and family that taught me it's not a failure. You're just learning a new boundary. You're learning a new space. Like you're kind of testing where you can and cannot move through, or maybe how you need to like take it from a new iteration. I think one of the biggest things I always think of is like my first year when I swam. I like to call it like my egg timer moment, but ultimately I was so awful on the team my first year that the coach gave me a gag gift. And it was at our big award ceremony. So like, of course, little kids are getting prizes. And then I was called up on stage and given a not real award. It was an egg timer. And it was like a joke of being like, oh, you're so bad. Here's a fake award. And so I remember being so sad and crying so hard. And I remember my parents, who are very, very nurturing any other time, it was kind of like, but do you think you did your best? And I remember thinking like, well, I try. And it was like, no, but if you truly think you gave it something. So I think to me, that's the first thing that failure really taught me is like, if you have done absolutely everything in your power, everything that is truly within your control, and it didn't turn out the way you want, you can only be proud of that. But if you walk away and you're like, oh yeah, I did kind of half-ass that, but I thought I could get away with it, then you can't. You can only kind of like reckon with yourself. And then I think one of my professional lessons that failure has definitely taught me is like slow down. I used to always think to prove that I'm not dumb, I'll do it faster than everybody. I'll ask the least amount of questions and I'll do it the quickest. And in reality, there's so much power in just being like, I don't know. And I actually need more time than you're thinking because I don't even know the right questions to ask. So, failure has been an incredible teacher that I think without it, I don't get to any of where I am now.
What about, how does that translate? Like, so thinking about learning and failure in the workplace, because that's a really scary place to be, right? Like nobody wants to feel like they've really screwed up, and nobody wants to feel like a failure. And then if you're not willing to kind of allow yourself to feel like a failure, you're only going to push yourself so far and you hold yourself back, and then you're not really actually growing. So it's all like intimately tied. And what about, I don't know if you have any experiences or thoughts about failure and learning in the workplace and experience, like something you can share. That's
absolutely. I had a brilliant idea when I worked for a media company that I was like, on this particular holiday, I've got an idea for like a specific artist that we're going to work with, and they're going to take over the account. And I remember I had already talked myself into this idea that everybody was going to say no to it. So rather than fully go with like a full pitch, I was like, I can kind of do enough to please this person, but also put it on our channels. And in the process of doing that, did not please the artist and did not please the company. And it was like this thing that I thought was such a brilliant idea. I don't think truly I let it have the fair shake that it needed to succeed. And when I tell you, like, even now, I have like the professional cringes where I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe oh God, that was such a bad idea. Like, it's not so much that I never want to sit in it and dwell and be like, oh, you failed. But like, I can say it should have been a smashing success, but I don't know because I didn't truly do everything with it that I think could have made it that brilliant thing. And so more so it's like, that is a constant reminder to me of like, if we're going to do it, we're going to do it. And if it fails, it fails. Like nobody watched it, nobody was into it, but don't half do it to please one person, half do it to please another. And then when it fails, you're just sitting there going, I wonder if I had just executed the idea that I had and been willing to like stand on the carpet for it, I would have maybe not be sitting here years later being like, ugh.